What makes a motion picture stand alone for decades? Why is it acclaimed as one of the all-time great films? And why has there been no equal in honors presented to this Academy Award-winning movie? Perhaps the answer lies in the efforts of the men who created Lawrence of Arabia, the motion picture that made great international stars out of Peter O'Toole and Omar Sharif.
I went out exactly the same age he was. In fact, I was, I think, 12 days older. And I lived with the Bedouin for 3 months before the film started.
Peter O'Toole is talking about the legendary T.E. Lawrence, whose remarkable exploits were accomplished in this Arabian desert, the remote location chosen by producer Sam Spiegel to film his epic story. It was a huge task just to have the necessities of life flown in, because the nearest town was 150 miles away and the movie company had a 5-month shooting schedule.
I assumed it would be for 5 months, which is what I understood it would be, and it turned out to be 2 years and 3 months.
It was a site unmarked on any map until discovered by director David Lean and art director John Box. These Academy Award-winning movie makers had to recreate an era out of a desolation that knew only these Bedouins and their camels. All that's ever been here have been nomads and the sounds that hang in the air of Lawrence of Arabia and his Arab legions as they battled the Turks during the First World War. Shooting color film in the blazing desert required the greatest of planning and patience. The wind and sand were a constant danger to the sensitive color lenses of these massive 70mm Panavision cameras. During the filming, Peter O'Toole developed a very close relationship with director David Lean. Lean also guided Bridge on the River Kwai and Dr. Zhivago to Academy Awards. His technique is unmatched when it comes to blending vast scenics with close-up dramatic action. In Lawrence of Arabia, his genius led Peter O'Toole to worldwide stardom.
Now, I find acting very difficult. I'm sure David finds directing very difficult. And at 130 in the shade at the top of a sand dune, sitting on a camel covered in vermin doesn't make it any easier.
The men behind the cameras were faced with another kind of problem. They had to make all their equipment mobile to cope with the demands of the rough and uneven terrain. They had to film action sequences with Alec Guinness and Anthony Quinn, who also star in Lawrence of Arabia with Peter O'Toole and Omar Sharif.
I think perhaps the first time ever in any professional experience I've had with people of this kind of stature, I got more help and more encouragement from them than I ever dreamed possible.
Peter O'Toole and Omar Sharif were both nominated for Oscars after their performances in Lawrence of Arabia. But behind their acting on the screen was a lot of hard work, and after each scene, the desert had to be smoothed down like the infield at a baseball game. Some of the filming was done at night when the temperature dropped from 130 degrees, particularly the scenes that were shot in the huge Arabian tents where T.E. Lawrence convinced the many isolated Arab tribes to unite in the common effort against the Turkish army. The desert often played visual tricks during the heat of day, but the result added fantastic images to the movie. During the filming of one sequence, these camels seemed to be walking on air above the sand. This is a mirage. Two years and 3 months of work drew to a close as the Columbia Pictures Movie Company completed its activity. Within days, all signs of this tremendous action was covered up by the hostile wind and sand. But the incredible saga of Lawrence of Arabia has been forever immortalized on film.